So I thought I'd make a video of the final product of about a month and a half's worth of work building my wife an herb garden HotBox dripper rain barrel setup so that she doesn't have to worry about watering the herbs and can grow them year-round. As you can see, this is the box. You can see some condensation there. Everything seems to be working okay. It is July, so it's really not necessary to keep them in, but it does shade them a little bit in the direct sun. This south-facing wall, but you can see in here we have some PVC pipe. It's schedule 40, so it's painted so it doesn't break down. Going into some dripper hose. 2 rows here. The same thing in the other box. This is filled. It's got some chives, some lettuce, some, I don't know what's in here, some basil, oregano, sorrel, something here that already died. But this is the box. It's made out of pressure treated lumber and then painted. And then we're running some greenhouse grade plastic up here. And then it all closes like so, and it's pretty well tight. And then we got some chicken wire because we have chickens, and chickens like to play with everything. As you can see, there's another little dripper hose going out to the clematis. There's another viney thing, I forget the name of over here. Anyway, so that's the herb garden, and what makes it all magical is the rainwater harvesting and drip automation setup. As you can see it coming in off the gutter there, up top there. That's the leaf catcher. Drops into the first flush diverter, which is this big thing right here. It's 10 gallons. I had an earlier video on how I made that, converted it from a normal 3-inch first flush. Then you'll see some valves up there. Those are 2 3-inch slide gate valves. And the purpose of those is to bypass the system primarily in the winter. So instead of having to take everything apart, you can just move, close that valve, open that, and the water drains out the drainage and then down to that dripper box right there. So, and then the first flush, you know, fills up. You need more information on that. I'm sure there's plenty of videos, but the whole purpose is to take the first 10 gallons off the roof, which is where most of your contaminants will be. We don't drink in the water, but, you know, in case of emergency, if you ever needed to, it's not a bad deal. What you're looking at here is the overflow from the rain barrel system. I did an earlier video on this vent. It's called a Herbie vent. And the purpose of this is to create an air gap as well as ventilate. There's some screens inside there. Don't know if you can see them, but it all comes apart. This is these are just rubber PVC adapters here. There's another video on that. There's a spigot valve there, pressurized all the time, and then you see the bottom where the first flush diverter goes out into the drainage. So this is the outside. There's a bowl in here. Then when it fills up to 10 gallons, it closes off the top and the water bypasses and heads into the rain barrels. This is the whole setup. Sorry for the time of day. Maybe a little dark in the sun maybe there, but anyway, I'll take you inside and show you the rain barrel setup. So we have some chickens inside, one rooster, well, a hen roosting and then some babies. So, and we just had a party, so it's a little messy. Anyway, so this is the rain barrel setup. You can see it's all completed. Up top you can see the water coming in. That is the inflow. There's a rubber sleeve there so I can remove the rain barrels. There's also some down on the manifold, so the barrels come out easily. On the wall you'll see a piece of 3/4 inch blue PEX coming down to a double check valve, which is probably way overkill for this, but the purpose of that is to maintain a minimum amount of water in the barrels off the well, which we have well water, and that flows into this here, and there's a float valve that keeps the water level about half. As you can see, the indicator here showing the water level right about half. So we always have a half of about 50 gallons on hand. This is the overflow. The elbow is positioned so that when it gets within a couple inches of the top of the barrel, it starts to flow out, and through that vent that you saw outside, and down and out. Here's the kind of mechanical to the whole thing. There's two irrigation valves there. Those are Hunter valves. They're controlled by a Rainbird controller, which is over there on the wall. The first one is what goes into the dripper system. Goes through that dripper filter right there, and then out into the box. The second one will be for a garden that goes around the path. This is the water coming in right here. You can shut it off and isolate the manifold to the dripper system. It's got a pressure gauge and a pressure switch. That pressure switch is a 30-50 switch, what you normally see on any kind of well pump setup. And then I have a pump down there. That's a 20-40 pump. And way in the back, as you can see, maybe, there's a 2-gallon pressure tank that helps regulate the pressure in the line so that the pump doesn't have to run all the time. That pump is set to maintain pressure in the tank. It's not connected to the Rainbird. It's got its own relay in that gray box, the big gray box there. The smaller gray box is just low voltage wiring to control those relays. You can see the manifold. It's a 3-inch manifold with the sleeves, the rubber sleeves on each barrel. That's the main overflow going up, and the water level there. I had an earlier problem with the leak on that bottom elbow. That's to totally evacuate the system in the winter time. Just take that service plug off, and I have a piece of blue PEX coming out of there. That's going to the spigot you saw on the wall outside. So the whole purpose of this is it just works, and she doesn't ever have to worry about water in the herb garden. We have up to 4 zones, so we're going to put some raised beds in the back as well, and we'll put some drippers into that. This is fully expandable. I can elbow off and add a couple more barrels if I want. This ended up being a lot bigger project than I anticipated, but the whole point is to have my wife to have it a really efficient and almost carefree herb garden where she can just go out and pick some leaves and weed it occasionally, and that's it. So that's the finished product. Really not much else to do besides bolt on some more zones and go. But that's your DIY herb garden with rain harvesting. Hope you enjoyed.